Now I'm very excited because Mary O'Donnell in the flesh, in person, is here in studio. Mary, it is so lovely to see you in person.
And likewise, and to be back and I can spray you and show you lotions and potions again.
This is it. Well, Keane, who's on sound today, came into the studio briefly in the ad break and he said, oh, there's a lovely smell in the studio now. So you always know if the air is fragrant that Mary O'Donnell is in the vicinity. So Mary, I don't know what I want to live to be 119.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a lot of wrinkles.
Yeah, it's a lot of achy bones, I would say.
But actually it does bring us neatly along to talk, what we're going to talk about today. And again, while I was off with COVID, read a lot of magazines, and there's so many articles about, wanting to look young, wanting to take years off your face. And there's so many products out there, all promising the same thing. But I wonder, do any of them really work? Or are we just stuck with wrinkles?
Yeah, I think, since COVID started, so many people are now seriously into skincare. I mean, for an awful long time, I think since I was 12, I've been obsessed with skincare. And now I have loads of buddies who are into skincare. And I think an awful lot more people now are really want to know what to use, when to use it, more so than maybe going down a different line, which before people saw lines and they go off and maybe have like plastic surgery done, was the thing. But now people are far more savvy and they are looking after themselves a lot more. And they know it's the holistic side of it. It isn't just buying a cream and you'll be fine. You need to, your diet, the stress, there's loads in it for your skin to look really well.
Okay, so it's not just a one size fits all thing.
No, but there's loads of things that you can do to age gracefully without having to go under the knife, I think.
This is it, yeah. And like with those creams, because there are so many of them, I mean, you'd be bamboozled reading all the claims that they all make. Is it a case of the more you spend, the better results you get? Or can you get pretty good results on a mid-budget cream?
I really do feel consistency is key. I would say the amount of women I talk to and men that are into their skincare who buy everything. They, hear about it and they buy it. And then I say, and how do you find it? Oh, I never used it. Like, I think we're all kind of guilty of having the products but not using them. And they're not going to work unless you use them on a regular basis. So it is about getting into a really good routine and making sure you have the right products and you're using them correctly. And, having your treatments, having your good facials and having a nice lifestyle where you're not having too many takeaways and you're not stressed out of your head where it's coming out in your skin, and to kind of know your skin and know what's good for your skin and like what irritates and what brings it out in kind of rashes or and potions. There's a potion to sort out any skincare problem that you may have, and it's about getting the right advice, I think, more than anything else.
So assuming that we do the right thing, we get enough sleep, we put on our SPF during the day, we cleanse and moisturise and use the serums and everything. Assuming we do all that, what creams would you then recommend that we put on at night to tackle those wrinkles? Okay, so there must be a few of them you have.
Yeah, definitely it's your actives then, okay, as you get older.
Your actives?
Yeah, so actives are kind of like, has been a buzzword for a long time. But if you're concerned about lines, the buzzword for me would definitely be retinol. Okay, but retinol gets a very bad name because people use too much of it too quickly, and they break out in rashes and get a lot of dryness. So the secret is that you do it slowly and you build up your skin to it, and you get to know how much your skin can tolerate. And because we tend to be a nation of softies, we do tend to get very irritated by actives. So the two kind of golden ones for me would be a vitamin C in the morning and retinol at night. And I think if you do those two for lines, you can't go wrong.
So let's start with the vitamin C during the day. So when you're getting, we'll say, your day cream, make sure it's one that has a vitamin C in it.
Or a serum with vitamin C for a brightening effect on the skin. So during the morning, your skin can tolerate it. And with most actives, they're quite reactive on the skin. So when you put them on, there's a little tingle for a while. And I would try to do it every second day for a while. And with the retinol, I would do it once a week for the first week, twice a week the second week, 3 times the third week. And I would never have it consistent nights, and I would never use it like more than 3 times a week, just to kind of give it that nice kind of wow to the skin. But you will see a difference when it comes to the depth of the lines, and you will find that the cell turnover will be much quicker. So as we get older, like the main things that really happen, like the estrogen level drops, so that we have a kind of a sagging in the skin, and then the collagen isn't as, it's from 25 on. So it like 25 on, it's it's all downhill. So it's not just as we get older.
She's Mary, you and I are really we might as well throw our hat at it. So.
But there is whatever you're lacking, you can put back in as well.
Okay.
You know, so there's great. I mean, it's never a better time to age because there's so much technology out there now. So the collagen would be the big one, and that's where you find, where most people find, it's the jowl area that starts to sag. And especially now in the last 2 years, where you were like saying you were at home, people are watching TV and they're on gadgets. So this area where, like, if you ever take a picture by accident of yourself, it's that neck area that nobody wants to see. It's that you can feel all that, but you can do loads of facial movements to help. You know, so it's regular putting on your neck cream, but you're using your hands always up, everything kind of firming the skin, and using that little bit of retinol around the neck to help that area, and your vitamin C in the morning. They, for me, are kind of the two buzzwords that you need to do for lines.
Not wanting to get all sciencey, but what exactly does retinol do? So
what it does is that it's really is getting that cell turnover. So when we're like in our prime and everything is wonderful, every 28 days our skin renews itself and it's all tickety-boo, everything is working really well. And then as we get older, it starts to get slower and slower. And when that cell turnover doesn't happen, the skin gets dry, it looks dull, and it doesn't have that lovely luminosity it did have when we were in our 20s. That lovely glow, yeah. So it helps really, it's the cell turnover that's helping with. So it's kind of fooling the brain to thinking, I'm young again, and every 28 days I need to renew. So that's why people will find their skin gets a bit patchy or a bit dry with it, or a bit flaky. It's the cell renewal, it getting a little bit faster again. And then as your skin renews, then everything will work better. Your serums will work better, your moisturizer will work better, because a lot of the time if your skin is very dry and dull and it's not renewing itself, everything is going to sit in the surface, and all the lovely claims that it's going to do won't actually work because it won't penetrate.
So the retinol, it reactivates the fresh skin cells.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that a lot of Irish women, well, women probably internationally, use the retinol wrong. They put on too much of it. So how much would you recommend, and where should you put on the retinol?
So I wouldn't go too close to the eyes, and I would like, you can get a specific eye retinol, you can get a specific skin one, and you can get a neck one. So I would start with the face and just like a pea-size amount of it. And I would put nothing else on that night, just your retinol, and just see how you go. And I wouldn't even touch it again for another week. But people will find that, like, if you take a photograph of yourself kind of at the start of your retinol journey and then at the end of it, you can see that the lines really there's a huge difference in how deep they are, and your skin feels fresher and you feel like everything goes on much better as well.
So the retinol, what, on your ring finger maybe?
Yeah.
And a little bit on the actual lines, is it?
Or you can put it up like as a moisturizer.
Okay.
And you can just see how you react to it. Like It Cosmetics do a fabulous retinol. So if you're kind of scared about doing which one to go for, it's a nice gentle one to start with, and then you can work your way right up, even like down to prescriptive retinol. That where you actually go to a dermatologist and get the prescription for it goes up in percentages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've brought in a few creams, and what would be your number one anti-wrinkle creams?
Right.
You've got a few there.
Yeah. So for me, definitely it would be your serums. Your serums will penetrate much deeper, so that I would get a good serum as well for kind of all the time. So the two new ones that have come out are from Lancome. They have got a new Regenerate fabulous serum for the skin. That would be kind of up there at the moment. I'm loving that one at the moment. Clarins have a new one and Lancome have a new one. They're always bringing out new serums all the time, and you just apply them first, leave them on for 5 minutes, and they will work great. Now, I'd say I've never come in here. Two products I've always talked about when I've been here is Dermalogica and Aven. The Ven for your 50 for your SPF afterwards, but this is a circular hydration serum from Dermalogica, and this is all about getting your hydration into your skin. So when you have that kind of dry dullness in the skin, you apply the serum, leave it on for 5 minutes before you put on your moisturizer. But they've got great gadgets as well. You keep this in the fridge, and then you can apply this. So anybody who finds that their skin is getting, maybe around the eyes, or kind of a lot of bagginess, you can work this like my little magic wand.
I'm laughing here now.
Yeah,
I'm so delighted you're in studio. It reminds me of what Elsa in Frozen used to carry. I think my daughter had something like that. It's not a magic wand. Well, maybe it is.
Yeah. So you can keep this in the fridge, and it gets quite cold, and you take not the freezer, the fridge, because I put everything into the freezer, but this is gets quite cold. And it's great for if you're baggy around the eyes, or just for your whole skin. It's all about removing kind of any toxins in the skin. And a huge thing as well, people are finding they're suffering from a lot of glycation in the skin, where they maybe have too much sugar in their diet, and they just want to kind of help tone the skin. So this is kind of like your home facial, my little Elsa wand here.
Okay, very good. So that's what people should do. And a very good reason, by the way, folks, to watch this segment on Facebook later on tonight. It's worth it just to see that little yolk that Mary had on her
swishing around
there.
Yeah.
I know you've loads more to talk about, but since we're talking about the face, we might take a few questions now.
Absolutely.
If that's okay with you. We've a lady who's 80 years old and she was in touch, and she would like your recommendation for a good facial moisturiser. She says she has dry, blotchy skin, and she also wants to know, have you any opinions on Trilogy Cosmetics?
Oh yeah, I love Trilogy. They're a New Zealand brand, and I know they sold out when one of the royals came out that she used Trilogy. It sold out everywhere worldwide because Kate Middleton said she used one of their products. But it's very organic. It's a very natural brand, but very effective. And I love Trilogy and all their products. They do a fabulous toner in it with that's great for exfoliating the skin again. And that's kind of like, I suppose that's key when it comes to anti-aging. It's all about making sure that exfoliation, and even for teenage skin, when you don't exfoliate, that's when it leads to all the spots and the breakouts as well. And as we get older, it's the same with the lines. But Trilogy would do a really good one. But if I was to say anything about for coming an anti-aging, definitely the Bye in the It Cosmetics for the retinol is amazing.
What's it called? Bye.
Yeah, and it's Bye Wrinkles.
Bye Wrinkles.
Bye.
Yeah, I hope it does what it says in the tin. Another lady's been on and says, Mary spoke about a facial the last time she was on the show. Can she repeat what the treatment was again, please?
Oh, that was the Bionic Facial, and that is in Listowel, and that was the Skin and Laser Clinic in Listowel, and actually they launched it. They had a launch of it last week. And I was saying we're going to talk about a facial every month, about depending on a skin type. This would be the facial if you had a wedding coming up and you kind of didn't take care of your skin.
Oh yes.
And you didn't drink the water and you didn't do all the right products, but you had an occasion and you wanted to look good fast. That was the facial I was recommending. Bionic,
and you can get it where?
It's the Skin and Laser Clinic in Listowel, and it is an amazing facial there's actually a laser in it, but it's very gentle. It's so gentle you can use it when you were pregnant.
Very good. Just on the subject of wrinkles, and I'll read this before we go to the break. Stephen's been in touch. Hi, Stephen. He says, your wrinkle subject reminds me of a piece that I read once. He says, the British can be very witty too, Mick Jagger was being interviewed and the host remarked about all his wrinkles. Jagger fobbed it off with, oh, they're laughter lines. And the host replied, Mick, no one could be that happy. So there, poor old Mick Jagger. He has a fair few wrinkles, all right. But sure, as somebody, great lips though. As somebody called Kate was in touch via Twitter, and she says wrinkles are character, they're a sign that you've lived your life and you've got character. But I accept all that, but I'd still like less of them. And I'd say Mary will agree.
Yeah, I agree.
We're going to take a quick break. We have some questions for Mary. She's got loads of lovely new products here in studio as well to talk to us about. Keep those questions coming in for her on 083 300 3300, and we're back in a moment.
The Beauty Spot with Mary O'Donnell on Talk About, in association with CH the Mall Tralee.
Now we're talking beauty, we're talking wrinkles, we're talking miracle face creams. But Mary, before we go any further, the last time I was on the show, and that seems like a long time ago, we had an Ask Brendan question about the photograph of the Kerry hurler that was up on the billboard there on Pembroke Street. And I remember thinking we must ask Mary O'Donnell that. Now, we did establish that the hurler in question was Liam Boyle.
That's right.
And I believe that that advertising billboard got a huge reaction.
Oh my God, yeah. And I think what the question was what was the name of the clinic. I think they knew Liam. They knew he had his hair done, but they wanted to know what the name of the clinic was. And it's the new CHRC in the Bonsecours in Tralee.
In the Bonds in Tralee. So I'd say Liam is
he's the poster boy.
He's the poster boy, and he looks great, in fairness. They're a good looking family, those Boyles and Ballyduff. I know them well. Just a couple more questions. A listener says, will you ask Mary how often should someone in their 60s have a facial, and how often should someone in their mid-20s have a facial who doesn't have problematic skin? So I'd say that's a mother and daughter there, maybe. Yeah,
so what you will find from your therapist will tell you every 4 weeks. And there's no way anybody's going to go every 4 weeks for a facial, because from time-wise, money-wise, and, whatever. So my recommendation is go with the change of seasons. That's 4 facials a year. And if you can do that, that is absolutely amazing. And I had, so like per month, I'm going to give kind of find a problem with skin and find a remedy. So the last month it was definitely all about skin that needed to get ready fast. And now it's the treatment I found for the kind of dullness in skin. You know, and if you say you find your skin is dull, you'll know straight away that's, you know, when if it feels tight, it looks dull, and you want something to do about it. So there's a great JOS clinic in Castle Island. I'm going all over Kerry, and they do a fantastic Medi. It's an ASAP facial, so it's a clinical facial, and they do microdermabrasion first, and it is with a diamond head, so it exfoliates all the skin, and then that's going to help stimulate the new renewal. And then they use ultrasound to push the ampules into the skin to give you that real radiance in the skin. So if your skin is dull, this is that's a facial that will really help get rid of the dullness, and they will customize it to your skincare needs.
Okay, and that's a good one for dull skin. So would you recommend that for the woman in her 60s or the woman in her 20s?
Well, either or, because they can actually adjust it to whatever age you are and your skin concerns.
Lady says, what's the best treatment, Mary, for under-eye Mallard bags? What are those? Is that a misspelling or something? Under-eye Mallard bags, like as in a mallard duck?
Right.
Is that a term I'm not familiar with?
For bags under the eyes, definitely a good eye cream and a gel, and I would keep the gel in the fridge, and any gadget that you can keep in the fridge to actually help stimulate it. The coldness is really good. I saw somebody recently with 2 tablespoons that had come out of the fridge, and be very careful you don't hurt the skin, but just something cold on the area, and just to move it towards the ears where the nodes are to help get rid of the fluid. But definitely a good eye gel on a regular basis.
Okay, now what is selling in CH at the moment? I'm always curious to know what the women of Kerry are buying. What's kind of like the top 5 at the moment?
Well, the tans are absolutely flying at the moment. I know we had talked about before that all the dark tans are gone because it's in kind of a new EU regulation that
they had to take this chemical out of
it, the DNA out of it. So the new ones haven't come in, so we've no idea what tans are going to be like. How dark can we go for people who really wanted the dark tans? But what's flying at the moment, the top 3 in tans would be the Bia Bell. It's a bronze, it's an instant tan, and I love an instant tan because just for convenience sake, and that's the number 1 seller there, which is amazing because it's maybe a lot of people listeners mightn't have heard of. Bia Bell. It's a bronze express.
Spell it. B.
Yeah, glasses have to come on. BIABELLE. Bia Bell.
Okay.
And that's an express tan, and it comes in 3 shades, so you can find one that suits you. Dove is the second number 1 seller, or second seller in tans. Dove. So
Dove fake tan.
It's easy, it's convenient. And the Sally Hansen spray tan. It's a spray that you spray yourself, and actually it's brilliant for legs. So Sally Hansen would have always been known for great for the legs,
yeah.
But the spray is even better again. So it's like you're doing your own spray tan at home. And they're the top 3 sellers.
They're the top 3 sellers. Now, another listener, this is a great question actually from Carol. She says, how long do I use eye cream and beauty products before I start to see results? Because we all want instant results.
Everybody wants instant. I would say you really need to be using it 4 to 6 weeks. Like it's the time that the skin will renew itself that you will start seeing results. And you know, sometimes it can take a little longer depending on the products, but I would say you should start seeing results between 4 to 6 weeks. Small, that you should see yourself.
Okay, very good. Now, you've got some products in there for us. I want to see them all before we run out of time. But
this is rapid round now.
Rapid round. Okay. So you're starting with mascaras, are they?
These are eyeshadows from It Cosmetics. They're new, so yeah, you'll have to nearly see these guys as well. So it's like they're like a little crayon, like magic doodles here, right? So if you're flying in the morning and you just want to put on, this is your brown for your around here, and this is your highlighter. So they just go on, and you can just rub them in, and you have your eyeshadows done in like seconds.
And they're like a creamy texture?
A creamy texture, and they dry very, very quickly. And lovely colours.
It Cosmetics.
It Cosmetics, and they are just really creamy eyeshadows, dry in, and they're on for the day, and they're really long lasting as well. So they're very good. 2 new fragrances. We haven't done fragrances in so long. This is the new one from Flowerbomb. Okay. And this is the ruby one. So it's ruby or
I'll have a squirt.
You will have a squirt.
A spritz is probably the better. I'll just do one arm for one wrist for that one, and
right, and one for this one.
Now I have a niece who loves what is it? Flowerbomb. Sorry.
Flowerbomb, yeah. Okay. It's nice, isn't it?
That's actually quite nice. And I didn't think I'd like it.
So Clarence, you know the red one in Clarence, the little red that everybody's kind of like a summer one that's just really refreshing. This is the new Clarins one, which is now green, not red anymore.
Oh,
well, they have the
okay.
red still, but this is green.
No, I didn't get
You
that.
didn't get that, I see.
That was a blank.
Sorry. We'll go again.
Lovely. Yeah, that's lovely.
That's nice.
That settle
That's
as well.
a real summertime Clarins eau de extraordinaire, and it is it's like a real gentle mist of kind of freshness in the morning, but that's lovely. And the red one was, everybody knows the smell of the Clarins red one. This is now a limey green colour. And Clarins have brought out a new hand cream to put a little bit of this on as well.
Okay. Love a bit of hand cream. Oh my God, that's loads.
Yeah. But this is there. You know, we're always saying we're looking for elbows.
I just want to show this to
Mary's very generous.
Mary's been very generous with the hand cream.
It just kind of flopped out.
It's all over me. Oh my God. Okay. Right.
Tissues.
I may need tissues at this point. Anyway, I'm sure it's lovely.
And 10 minutes later, still rubbing it out.
I'm going to have the softest hands in Kerry. But
right. That was what I was saying about how much to use. That's exactly what not to do.
What not to do, exactly. Yeah.
So their new hand cream, which is the hand and nail balm.
Okay.
And it is really good.
It's lovely.
When it does go in.
It is lovely.
So there's Clinique have a fabulous gift with purchase at the moment when you buy 2 products, and always any Clinique fans, they always wait for the gift with purchase, which is always lovely little treatments to come with it. Anybody who's worried about wrinkles, definitely the Aven. Use your SPF every day. I'm always saying that it is just such a good one. And there is a great, I love this. This is Inglot. This is all their lovely colours. This is a whole new range of colours, and I've loads of different bits in it. There's foundations, it's from Rosie. There's mascaras in it. Everything that you could want in makeup from Inglot, and it is exclusive in Kerry in CH Chemist.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Mary, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. I'm going to have to find some tissue to get all this hand cream on. But can I say how great it is to see you in person?
And likewise, lovely to be back.
It feels a bit more like normality now, and it's so great to be able to see all these products. And again, just to remind the listeners that if you want to see some of the products that Mary's been talking about, do be sure to check out the Talk About Facebook page tonight, because we will have this a video of this segment up on Facebook, on the Talk About Facebook page. Mary, until next month.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to see you, and we'll chat again very soon. We'll take a break.